Hey everybody, it's the Canary Uncaged. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a little while. Um, I wanted to make a video today about time and rest. Um, I think the two topics sort of intertwine, and losing my vehicle and the worsening of some of my symptoms about a year and a half ago have led me to be in the house most of the time, for the last, 18 months or so. And I've had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to myself, a lot of time to rest, and it hasn't actually been particularly pleasant, you know. Um, a lot of times, I sort of, especially this time of year, it's just the seasonal meh, and my brain is kind of like soup, a seasonal soup. And um, I guess maybe you could kind of think of it also as, like a butterfly, doesn't become a butterfly until they've quite literally turned to mush and, um, emerged from a chrysalis. you know, I guess that's sort of the perspective I'm trying to sort of take for this time in my life. Because there's been a lot of just, rest sometimes, in the romantic sense is like, cuddling up with like, your cat in a warm blanket and, watching TV on a rainy day, or having like a, day to just sort of like read in your recliner or something. But the reality is sometimes it can be quite uncomfortable. Sometimes it doesn't even feel like rest. Sometimes, you can just feel stressed and you don't actually feel relief from laying down. Sometimes it can look like bed rotting. Sometimes it can look like too much scrolling, and it's important to try to keep life in balance, but I think it's also important to sort of keep that perspective that sometimes things are going on under the surface. I know they are for me, you know. Things have changed so much for me, so much, and I've grown so much in this last, year and some change, and a lot of it is still, I'm in process, you know. My condition has not gone away. My health issues have not gone away. The way I respond to my symptoms is changing. Sometimes it would be an insult to my lived experience to say that environmental illness, chronic pain, or any condition is a question of mind over matter. I think that's simply untrue. But there are ways to sort of kind of push the edges just a little bit, and that's something that, like, when you're working out, you got to do reps. Hold on. That looks like a that's actually a victory for me that I was even able to do that, because that's something that would have brought me pain in the past. I have limited shoulder mobility, but I think it illustrates the point really well. And I didn't exercise my shoulder, I've just rested, and over the last year and a half, I'm slowly gaining a degree or two of mobility here, a couple extra ounces I can hold, a couple extra seconds I'm able to, like, hold something, I have a long way to go, but that's the point, it's over time we learn how to respond to symptoms, to situations in life, to our emotions. All these things can play a role in our well-being. And sometimes just dropping out is what you gotta do. You know, taking time to do whatever the heck I've been doing these last couple months. I just know they've been more productive than they seem on the surface. Hope this resonated with everybody. And I hope to see y'all again soon. Hope everybody's having a good one. Happy New Year. Hope there have been moments of peace and that everybody has some positive momentum as we continue forward on this journey. So, peace out. Talk to y'all later. Bye.